Hey everyone, this is Winfred Burns. I just wanted to drop this off to you real quick. So I've been doing a lot of thinking and strategizing about just some of the successes and failures that I've had in relationships and business and life in general. And I started to think about kind of, and classes are done with for the semester, just kind of what are some of the things that I wanted to talk about, because I've been pretty quiet on these Facebook Lives, but nevertheless. So I wanted to come in and really quick tell you that if you are trying to grow in business, if you are trying to grow in ministry, if you are trying to grow in any area of your life, there is one thing that I can tell you is probably the most or one of the most important things you can do. As I'm telling you guys this, do me a favor, please hit the share button, and of course let me know, drop your comments or questions on the live. What's up, Isaac Culver, my hero? Ebony, how you doing? Miss Wesley, how are you doing? So here it is real quick. The one and probably the most important thing that you can do to grow in relationships, in business, in ministry is to find a good number two. What do I mean by that? If you are a business owner, if you're a CEO, if you are a pastor, if you are whoever you are, if you're, again, trying to grow your relationship, the most important, in my opinion, thing you can do is find a good number two, find a good partner. And so Winfred, what makes up a good partner? I'm going to give you three things that make up a good partner. You ready? So the number three thing that you need to look at if you want to have a good partner is you need to look at somebody who has a history of being committed. A history of being committed. So whether it's relationship, whether it is business, you need someone who you know is going to stick it out when things get rough. It's very easily when things get started or when things are popping for people to come aboard and want to be on the team. But where are these people? Have these people been when things were low? You've heard the saying, and most of you've heard the saying, that if you weren't with me when I was in the gym shooting, then you shouldn't be with me when I am celebrating championships or when I'm in the game. And that is the reality. Whether it's a relationship again or whether it's a business, you want to find someone who has a commitment of being committed, a history, of being committed. And so how do you do that? Well, if you're a CEO and you're looking for a good number two, you want to look to see, have they maintained previous positions for considerable lengths of time. If you know somebody who has, if you go into an interview and somebody on their resume has changed jobs every 6 months or every year, if you know that somebody who's never had a committed relationship and they've only been able to maintain relationships for 1, 2, 3 months, and then they go to the next relationship, that speaks to their level of commitment. And if a person does not have a history of being committed, then there is a greater possibility that they will not be committed to you when things get tough. And so we've got to take a look at that, because if we're going to build sustainable relationships, if we're going to build large businesses, if we're going to build networks that are able to withstand the test of time, you cannot do everything as a number one. You need a good partner who is committed just like you. What's the second thing you need? The second thing you need is you need somebody who has complementary skills. What do you mean by complementary skills? I'm saying you need to find somebody who is good at what you're not good at. If you can find somebody as a leader, as a CEO of an organization who is good at accounting where you are good at marketing, that is someone who has a complementary skill, a skill that you need that will complement, that will come alongside and partner well with what you are doing. You got to find somebody who has complementary skills, because if you're both doing the same thing, then who's going to handle the other things that need to be done? If you're both strong at the exact same skill, then how will you be able to communicate to the rest of your organization about things that you are not good at? So you want to find somebody who has complementary skill. What's the number one thing? The number one and the absolute most important thing that you need to find in a number two is someone who has your heart and who has your vision. Yes, somebody who has your heart and somebody who has your vision. Quite frankly, that is the most important thing to look for, because you can learn skills, you can develop commitment, the ability to commit, but a person who has a tainted heart, someone who can't see, who is blind, will never be able to follow or to partner with you in the direct way, because you will constantly be walking in different directions. You've heard this, the Bible verse, how can two walk together lest they agree, or that we should not be unequally yoked? What that means, what both of those statements mean, those scriptures mean, is if we are not on the same page, if we don't see things the same, if we don't have the same, well, not see things the same, but if we don't have the same heart for things, then it's going to be very difficult or almost impossible for us to accomplish what we're going to be need to accomplish, because we're going to need to do this together. We got to do it together, because when we are together, we are a force. And so that's why the trick of the enemy is usually to divide and to conquer, because if you can separate people, if you can make them have division or two visions, then all of the energy that is necessary to get to the next level is now diverted into different directions. So again, you want to have somebody who has, number one, a history of commitment. Number two, you want to find somebody who has complementary skills. And the most important thing you want to find is somebody who has your heart and your vision. If you can find all of that wrapped up into one person, then you might have just found yourself the number two that you've been looking for. And what has been keeping you from getting to the next level? What has been keeping you from taking your business to the next level? What has been keeping your money locked up and keeping you from getting to the place that you need to be at? If you've ever been in a relationship that's been bad for you, where you've always felt weighed down and you felt unsupported, then you know the drain that type of relationship has on you. But you also, if you've ever experienced a relationship where somebody is committed to the vision, that is committed to seeing you and your organization or your organization grow, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I just wanted to drop that with you real quick. I hope you guys are having a good day today. And if you have not hit the share button, please make sure you hit the share button so others can share in this video, or tag them. Last but definitely not least, you still got time to register for the 2019 Level Up Conference. Go to www.levelupchicago.com. I'll see y'all later. Have a good night.